The original script, the opening of the movie did take place in Turkey. I mean, it's going to be this big sort of epic shot of coming into Istanbul over the water and ending up on this, at this prison and going inside and finding this guy who's sort of like digging his way out of the cell and comes across the relic and sort of breaks out of this prison, and he's being chased by guards who are shooting him, but the bullets aren't affecting, and then he gets hit by the car and runs off. And that was one of the things that got hit by budget, because if we had done the Turkey thing, we would have had a second unit shooting in Turkey, and we would have had, a couple of stage days for interiors and a couple of location days for the exterior. And so it was all moved to Mexico. We shot this opening in about a day and a half, and it ended up being a pretty challenging day. We shot out in the desert, this old Kaiser steel mine, and it's these old sort of ruins, and we added these crosses to these structures, so it looked like these old sort of burnt out churches.
It's got to be a popcorn scare, which means we can't telegraph the car coming into frame. It's got to be like all on the guy, and all of a sudden the car hits him.
That scene took some planning. We had this sort of complex system of both visual and practical effects, trying to work together seamlessly on that day.
You're basically going to walk where that little wedge is dug in the ground, and walk straight out, 14 high. And then what we do is we do another version of that shot with the car hitting that steel post, and then all that stuff gets erased.
They drilled this giant hole into the ground and put this big steel pipe exactly where the body would be when it got hit.
When the guy runs, the whip's still run right through this mark, right through the center.
Yeah.
And then he had this car that had the engine block taken out, and it had all been weakened.
We're anchoring this down so when it hits in here, everything will buckle instead of flying all over the place. We don't want stuff to fly all over. We want to make it look like the guy, it implodes into him.
And then he had this track system laid out with these hydraulic pumps.
The air ram will be charged with two 2-inch valves at 1,600 psi. The amount of force is 43,000 pounds of force.
And then these air jams would send this car flying into the post.
The wreck itself is so violent that we really can't put anybody in it.
But of course, Jose can handle it. He's a certified stunt articulating dummy.
One last time, is there anybody who is not ready?
Rolling. Speed. Set. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good job, man.
Good job. The car crashed so violently that Jose the dummy could only be extracted using the jaws of life.
We have one convertible.
We then had another rig that we brought in because I wanted the back end to actually go up, that this thing stopped so quickly and hit so hard that the back end of the car would rise up in the air and then drop down. And we actually ran into some problems because the back end wasn't going up quickly like it should. If you hit somebody at 60 miles an hour, it kind of eked up there, and then it could drop down just great.
Working on it. Go. Another test. 3, 2, 1, go.
So we ended up having to just shoot the dropping down and end up reversing the film for the lift up.
Action!
Okay. No dust on this one, because I have to reverse it.
Been laying new dust in, so it looked like the force was still going forwards. I would have this edit system, basically following me around during, with the video playback. So I can, as I shoot, start to cut sequences just enough to see whether or not things will work.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I knew by the end of the day that I had the sequence.